Okay, welcome back everybody. As it turns out, Fourth Dimension Foolkiller will not be joining us this week, as he is currently busy moving into my room. I'm sleeping on the couch. But anyway, if you follow me on Twitter, then you know that he has left me with instructions this week, because on this show, God help us all, we saw the return to television of Orlando Jordan. I was planning on changing the channel like I usually do when Jordan is on the screen. Unfortunately, Fourth Dimension Foolkiller insisted that I watch and review this match. And also, because he insisted, here's photo documentation of the experience. Here I am trying to avoid watching Orlando Jordan's match. Here I am with Fourth Dimension Foolkiller forcing me to watch it. And here I am drowning in my own tears. There's a special place in hell reserved for Fourth Dimension Foolkiller for making me watch this match. How the hell does Orlando Jordan still have a job? Seriously, this guy is fucking awful. And he controlled the majority of this terrible match, which made it that much worse. Shannon Moore can wrestle. Eric Young is solid. Jesse Neal is competent. But between the three of them, they still could not disguise the fact that Jordan is absolutely sleep-inducing as a worker. To say nothing of the stupid shit with the mannequin. Where the hell did that come from? And you know what? If nothing else, this new gimmick has to say something really telling about Eric Young. This time last year, Eric Young was arguably the #2 heel in the entire company and leading his own faction. Fast forward 12 months, and he's one half of a comedy jobber tag team with Orlando Jordan and a fucking mannequin. Now let me ask you guys something. How many times has this happened to Eric Young over the years? Do you even remember? I don't. I've lost count. This guy has been pushed, repackaged, pushed, re-gimmicked, pushed again, and every single time, without fail, as soon as the push is over, he falls right back to where he was before. Now compare him to someone like Beer Money, all right? Beer Money, those guys are a perfect example. You can job those guys out 20 times in a row, and they'll still be believable as a top team. This is a quality that Eric Young just does not have, which really makes me wonder why the hell TNA management never stopped trying to turn this guy into something. I like Eric Young. He's a solid worker. He's good on the mic. I'll give him huge props for doing his best with some pretty asinine gimmicks they've stuck him with over the years, but the guy is a mid-carder. He's a career mid-carder, and that's all he is ever going to be. End of story. Moving on. This business of changing the global title to the television title, because I guess the champion can just do that if he wants to. Apparently, Eric Bischoff thought that global title and world title were the same thing. Hence, we now have the TV title, and I guess they are the same thing, but it's the name is an improvement, I guess. But note to Eric Bischoff, you can call that title whatever the hell you want. You can call it the transatlantic title, you can call it the galactic title, the universal title, but it's still the same toy belt that Booker T made up. The name is not the problem, it's the championship itself that's worthless. Now the best thing about this show, this week, just like the last several weeks, unsurprisingly, Motor City Machine Guns and Beer Money. Give these guys a raise. I mean it. They're having fantastic matches every single week, and as good as they were before, I think the Guns have really stepped it up since they won the titles. I mean, when Sabin dove off the top of the cage to splash onto Beer Money, come on, man. You don't see that kind of stuff in WWE anymore. Go out of your way to find this cage match if you missed it, because it was awesome, just like all their matches have been up till now. My only concern is that these guys are killing themselves in these gimmick matches, and it just feels unnecessary. Yes, the matches are fantastic, but why do they have to be all gimmicked up? Denon made this point on QCW Radio. Why can't they just have 4 normal matches and then a gimmick match to end the series? Is there something wrong with that? these guys are destroying their bodies, and I mean, they had a steel cage match one night, they had an Ultimate X the next night. How long do you think they can keep that up? Now, as for Fortune, AJ, Kazarian, Beer Money, Ric Flair, that's cool. That's a good faction. Their promo was fine, but when they started taking pot shots at Nexus, that's when I had to put the brakes on. I got no problem with TNA taking shots at WWE. Hell, I encourage it. But if you want to do that, you got to earn it first. And while Fortune didn't say anything that wasn't true, we're veterans, they're rookies, stuff like that, the Nexus guys do have one thing over Fortune right now. Nexus can win matches. And it just doesn't seem like the Fortune guys are 100% capable of doing that. AJ needed tons of interference to beat Rob Terry last week. Kazarian got squashed by Terry in 30 seconds this week, which was just a slap in the face to Kazarian. I mean, before the feud with the Guns, the Beer Money weren't doing much better. It just seems like as soon as somebody aligns with Ric Flair, they go on a huge losing streak, which just seems like a really ineffective way to build a faction, if you ask me. The EV2.0 thing, it was alright. It wasn't the greatest thing ever, but the opening segment was cool as far as setting things up and getting Brother Ray back on board. And I did like that line, like, "Are we gonna set somebody on fire?" You know, that was funny. So I was liking it up until Hogan came out to steal all the spotlight for himself. But then Abyss came out and I got interested again. And here's the thing with Abyss, okay? I like his new character a lot. He plays it very well. I'm actually pretty close to getting back on board with Abyss, and I never thought I'd say that again. And I am intrigued by this "they" that he keeps talking about, because I thought that was referring to the ECW guys, and apparently it's not. So that's interesting to me, but I get the feeling that when they are revealed, it's going to be a letdown. It's probably just going to lead up to like Bischoff turning heel or something. I mean, they kind of teased that with his promo this week. But so far, it's been good. I like what they're doing with Abyss right now. I don't agree with him facing Tommy Dreamer in the main event, because Tommy, God love him, but I just don't think he should be in the main events at this point. I mean, I see why they did it, and the predictable as hell swerve with Raven. They got to set up this pay-per-view, but the match really wasn't that good, and I don't see why it had to be a hardcore match. I mean, they tried to justify it, yeah, but they got way too many goddamn gimmick matches on this show. And I'm just not into the hardcore stuff on top of everything else. I mean, to me, hardcore matches were a fad from just left over from the 1990s. Yes, they had their place, but there's a reason why you don't see hardcore titles on TV anymore. They were a passing trend, like disco or bell bottoms or something like that. They were popular at one time, but I outgrew them, just like I think most fans did. I'm sorry, I don't care to see the hardcore matches anymore. I just don't. So generally, this show ended the streak of good impacts for me. The cage match was outstanding. The stuff with the knockouts was good, but the main event was not good. Rob Terry squashing Kazarian should never have happened. I don't know what was going on with Matt Morgan and the two security guards. The shit with Orlando Jordan and Eric Young was just embarrassing. Just not enough good stuff to offset the bad this week. And one more thing. Hey, come with me. There isn't enough space in my room and I need you to move some heavy furniture. Well, I guess that's all I have time for then. See you guys later. I have to go move heavy furniture now. I'm waiting! Yeah, I'm coming.